I'm Charles McCall, fifth-generation Oklahoman, former Speaker of the Oklahoma House of Representatives. Here today on the podcast just to talk about Oklahomans, what it's like to live here, serve here, and be a citizen.
Welcome back to the Undefeated Defining Moments podcast, sponsored by Freedom and our great friends from M&D Drilling out in Waller, Texas. Today's very special guest is Speaker McCall. You've been undefeated for how long? You got the longest stretch in Oklahoma of Speaker.
I served 8 years as Speaker of the House. The
Undefeated.
Longest, yes.
And then how many years as Atoka mayor? 5 or 7?
I did 7 years as mayor,
Yeah.
and 1 year prior to that on as a councilman.
Man, so you are Mr. Undefeated in streaks of politics.
I have never lost a race since 8th grade student council.
Man, so we're going to try to help keep the streak alive, right?
That's right.
You're running for governor for Oklahoma.
I am, yes.
And so let's just dive into that. What got you into wanting to be the CEO of the great state of Oklahoma?
Well, love Oklahoma. Our family's been here for 5 generations, and our family found itself here in about 1885, and the family just needed a fresh start. The patriarch of the family died in a mining-related accident in Pennsylvania, and the matriarch gathered up the kids and went as far west as the rail went at that time.
Wow.
Looking for a fresh start. And we've been in Oklahoma ever since. Love the people, love what this state stands for, its values, its love for one another, and really excited about its future.
Yeah.
We kind of come from a mindset. My father always taught me in business that you can't be successful unless you make your customer successful first. And so that's kind of the mindset that drives us when we talk about public service. And that's what it is. It's public service.
Right. Yeah. So when you talk about public service, what does that mean to you in your own words?
Well, I think it kind of goes back to the foundations of our country. People serve for a period of time to better things. There's some, you give of your time and your treasure, but to help other people do better, to make sure there's continuity, safety, and a future for the generations to come. America's the greatest country that history has ever seen, in my opinion. But we do have to, freedom is great, but freedom can be lost, and we have to, each generation needs to make a contribution for the continuity of freedom.
Yeah.
And that's what inspires me to do it.
I love it. How are you going to fight for Oklahomans?
Well, I got a very good taste of this while being the Speaker of the House and being in the Oklahoma legislature for 12 years. Speaker is 8. Oklahoma is really a state that a lot of the other states pay attention to, and I don't think our people understand that here. I mean, I think our people focus on their families, their jobs, and their day-to-day lives, and don't really think about what all goes on in public service. But we attract a lot, of people that pay attention to the fact that we are a very free state. We do a lot to make sure people's freedoms are not infringed upon, even to the point of passing legislation banning certain things.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's freedoms and our liberties are what define Oklahoma and what define our country. And there does seem to be an element always trying to chip away at those.
Yeah.
And government can get out of balance.
Yeah.
The people that we elect have got to go in and make sure that government is held accountable and is held in check.
Yeah.
Because the power resides with the people.
Right.
That's who the elected officials work for and answer to, not the other way around.
Yeah.
And so those are big priorities for me.
Yeah.
any level of government that I've had the opportunity to serve in.
Gotcha. So speaking of fight, my wife and I want to give you this hat.
Oh,
to
nice.
Keep fighting for us Oklahomans
Hey, I love it.
and Americans.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And then there's a mug. So
Oh, love it. How about that? Well, should I just go ahead and wear the hat the rest of the session?
No, you don't have to. Your hair looks too good. Don't
No.
don't ruin the hair.
Thank
Please.
you. That's a good looking hat. This could be a prototype for the campaign.
Hey, I like it.
I love it.
You got to fight for the Oklahomans. You got to fight for the freedom, keep them, and
Well,
keep
we do, and
Oklahoma great.
it's amazing that we have to spend time on certain things, like
Right.
banning gender reassignment surgeries
Yeah.
for minors.
Yeah.
Going out and saying, no, the government can't keep people from congregating in church, even during COVID. It's just
Yeah.
there's just these things you have to fight for
Yeah.
every day, or you slowly lose them.
That's
Ronald
true.
Reagan said freedom is only one generation away from being lost.
Yeah. That's
And
right.
There's a lot of truth to that.
That's true. Speaking of COVID, how did 2020 shape you after that?
It was a tough time. I wouldn't say it's the toughest time during my speakership. First 2 years were tougher because the state just had a bad economic situation.
Yeah.
A four-year recession. That we fixed that with a couple of years, kind of got back on track, and then COVID hit. It definitely impacted. What I really loved about Oklahoma and the people here and our leadership at the time was we just said we are going to get through this.
Yeah.
And we adapted our processes at the legislature
Yeah.
to make sure we could still take care of the people's business, meet the constitutional requirement of coming in February, adjourning by May, and getting a budget in place. We kept the state open. We didn't sequester people.
Right.
We kept the economy going. And Oklahoma, because of that, we were one of the states that really performed well. And as the pandemic, everybody got their hands and arms around that. Oklahoma was one of the best producing top states, and we just kept to our free principles, and we respected people who, if they wanted to stay home, they could.
Yeah.
But we kept the economy up. We didn't shut things down. You should never operate in the spirit of fear. I mean, it's biblical.
Right. Yeah.
That's not the spirit of the Lord, and you just have to. Of course, people are the common denominator. That's who you work for.
Yeah.
That's what you seek to do. Government, I believe, should just try to create the right environment for families and businesses to thrive. Nothing more. I mean, their number one charge is public safety.
Yeah.
Protection of the people. Other than that, it should be very limited and let people live, be free, and prosper from generation to generation.
I love it.
Yeah.
What are a couple things that you fear?
Fear? I think probably I'm a pretty competitive person, so failure is always as an internal fear. But I have learned there's really no situation that I fear. I mean, whatever the circumstances may be, a lot of things are unforeseen. Some things are coming, but most you don't.
Yeah.
They just happen. So you just have to stare those things down right in the face, lean into them, walk into them, and take them on. Address them, and keep moving forward.
I like it. Have you ever failed at anything?
Oh, I think everybody, has failures. You definitely, have, what was always important to me and is important to me. Like after every legislative session, although we had some great sessions, always self-reflection, looking back and seeing, okay, where did we miss? because you always miss something. You know, where could we have improved?
Mm-hmm.
And you try to bring people together and say, hey, this next session, we've got the opportunity to do some things again. Let's make sure we have less misses. You know, but in terms of failures, hey, some things you do, you think you're going to have great outcomes. They don't quite get there.
Yeah.
But you've got a chance to go back and redo them, refix them. That's the great thing about our government.
I like it.
Yeah.
What about on a personal level? Have you ever failed or feared of failing your wife or your kids or maybe your constituents?
Yeah, of course. I think, you know, when you make commitments, you've got commitments. You know, Stephanie and I have been married for 31 years.
Right.
There's nothing that we haven't probably experienced that any other married couple has. I mean, we're very devoted to one another. We've had a great marriage. We love one another. She's my best friend. Our marriage came out of a friendship, and we met on a blind date.
Okay.
Here in Norman at the University of Oklahoma, and then your kids come along. But we've had trials and tribulations in our life.
Sure.
We've always been devoted to one another, but our first child, our first pregnancy, we lost. Experiencing the death of a child, even still in the womb, is it's tough. You question a lot of things, and you wonder what did we do wrong.
Yeah.
And it's hard to rationalize those things, but we ultimately came to the point where, you know, our faith is in God.
Yeah.
And God knows best, and maybe as a way of, you know, God correcting something that was wrong. We don't know. We'll never know until we get to see the Almighty.
Yeah.
But your kids, there's a tremendous amount of pressure on all parents. You want your kids to do well.
Yeah.
And we've been very blessed. Our kids are very grounded. We kept them insulated from politics. What's great about living in rural Oklahoma, especially Atoka, the Oklahoma City media markets don't reach there. Mm-hmm. The Daily Oklahoman doesn't reach there. The Tulsa World doesn't reach there. So our kids could just grow up just be kids. You know, no pressure to feel like they had to be adults super quick. And they turned out great. We're really proud of them. Stephanie and I we're empty nesters now.
Yeah.
So our youngest child is in his senior year at college, his last semester. So he'll be graduating in December, and we're proud of both of them.
That's awesome. You look super young to have a senior in college, so that's amazing.
I appreciate that.
You work out?
I not as much as I should.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I try to every day, every morning. You know, I get up and try to do a little bit of a, you know, core workout. Just body weight stuff, and just try to stay in shape or improve my health. I'm 55 now.
Okay.
And now I'm having to really start paying a little more attention. One of the doctors that I see every once in a while points out to me, you know, God gave us bodies that can take about any type of punishment for the first 40 years.
Yeah.
After that, he leaves it up to you to make good decisions.
I like it.
I'm having to make better decisions about what I eat and getting in some physical exercise. But that's what's great about a campaign.
Yeah.
You get some exercise in.
Yeah. So on the topic of campaigns and some of the things you do in the morning, what are some of your, let's say, big habits that you have to do in the mornings? Because you're on the trail, you're talking to a lot of people, constituents.
Right.
Educating them and listening, probably more importantly. So what are some of your big time habits that you have to do, non-negotiable?
I think you've always got to have, so public service, your work, your job, day to day, whatever it is that you're involved, it will consume all the time in your life that you'll let it. You do have to set some boundaries. I mean, there are some periods of time that it's going to be nonstop, but you really need to set some boundaries and make sure that you have some time with your family, especially your spouse.
Right.
I always do better when I get some quiet time in with the Bible, and do read some scripture and pray, meditate a little bit on those things. Those things seem to just result in a better day, even when it's a good day, and especially when it's not maybe a good day.
Right.
But you need to, and every once in a while you have to take a step back. You need to turn the phone off and just go spend time with your spouse.
Yeah.
When I was in the legislature and being 2.5 hours away from Atoka, 4 months out of the year, we always made it a point. Stephanie would come up and stay with me an evening. My parents would keep our kids.
Yeah.
And we would just have date night and turn the phone off, no talking politics, just go out, have a nice dinner and just spend time with one another.
Yeah.
And that helped keep the marriage strong, our relationship strong, and it really would just help recharge your batteries to do what you were elected to do day to day.
I like it.
So I think those are important things
Yeah.
to do. The public service, it'll eat at you. There's a lot of things that can go wrong in the family if you don't give your family the time that's needed. And I've seen some very good people struggle in public service in those areas, and we have to make a very conscientious effort to make sure that that stays solid. Because if the family situation can't remain solid, you really can't effectively do the job of representing people.
I got you.
And that's to me, that's your family is your first priority. I made a commitment to Stephanie when we got married, long before I ever took on a public service. So I've got to make her number one, and will.
Yeah. Has there ever been a time where she's like, "Hey, you know what? I think you should hang it up"?
My wife was in the toughest 2 years of my first 2 years of speaker, which were the toughest. And for every speaker, I think the first year's tough for you. It's a new role, and you're learning it, and people treat you differently within the building, outside the building. But my wife was diagnosed with breast cancer, and we took a hard look at whether or not I should continue in public service. Yeah, we came to that crossroad, and she had addressed that issue, and we had made the decision that if she had to have a chemotherapy treatment, that I was going to suspend my campaign for re-election and call it quits. She wanted me to be with her, and I through that. Fortunately, that's for her. She caught it early.
Yeah.
She had surgery, and she's been cancer-free for 7 years now.
Wow, good.
But those are times where you've come to a crossroad, and you got to make the decision.
Yeah.
What's more important, family or public service, and
Right.
you hope you can do both. But if you have to choose between the two, I'd always recommend people choose family.
I like it.
Yeah.
My wife listens to this podcast, so she'll appreciate that a lot.
Well, and what most people don't know, it's the spouse that has it's harder on the spouse than it is the elected, because you're managing things at home.
Right.
I mean, when I was in session, my wife was not just mom to two kids, two boys at that.
Right.
But she had to be the dad some, when I wasn't there.
Yeah.
And that's a lot that's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of responsibility. And if your spouse doesn't support you, doesn't feel like it's good for the family, don't do it.
Right.
For this run, she's like, Charles, I'm going to support you. I think God's gifted you with the ability to bring people together and solve problems and lead.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's very supportive, all in. Now she gets to actually do some of the campaign activities with me, so we don't have kids at home every day.
All right, I'm going to put you on the spot here.
Yeah.
If you had 3 words to describe Mrs. McCall, what 3 words would you use?
Blessing, best friend, and awesome.
Man.
Yeah, she's the greatest blessing I've ever received in my life. I mean, she's so much better than me.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm fortunate for that, that she's my wife, and just the way we met is just fortuitous and unexpected and truly serendipity.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
On the screen there's the American flag. What does America mean to you?
Well, that flag means, a lot of things. It means it is the symbol of freedom. It's also a reminder that freedom isn't free. There's a price that's paid, and there's a lot of blood that's been shed. There are men and women protecting our freedoms daily, domestically, and across the globe.
Yeah.
It's a symbol of hope. It's a symbol of opportunity. But we also, I do think I do see that we're so blessed in this country. We take that for granted a lot. I just think every day, it doesn't matter where you are in life, what you do, what you're called to do.
Yeah.
There is a role for all of us as Americans to play in protecting our freedom and making sure that the next generation understands what price was paid in order for us to be here today.
Right.
Talking about it, sharing it, and doing whatever we want. In this country, you can do what you want every day.
Yeah, that's so true. How do you deal with negativity when you're out there on the campaign trail? Maybe you see a commercial that it's not true,
right.
Or maybe you see a post on Twitter that's not true, or maybe someone says, "Hey, blah blah blah," and it just gets negative with you. How do you deal with negativity?
Oh, you just campaigns they're very negative. And the reason why, my first campaign, I was getting attacked, and I refused to attack my opponent. And I went from about a 8-point lead to a 1-point lead. I figured out people do it because it works. Unfortunately, people want to believe, have a tendency to believe, negative messaging. But beyond the campaigns, you run into people who are upset. Sometimes they're frustrated or just very passionate about something, and it can feel like it's directed at you, but it's not. What you need to do is look past, taking it personally and listen. They're telling you something. They're really telling you what's wrong in their life or what they have a problem with. And if you just take it personally, you won't hear what they're saying. When somebody's really upset, they've got a pressure point in their life, and they need some help.
Yeah.
That's what I try to look for and listen for. Because at the end of the day, what I think really matters in public service is making sure government, it's the people's government, and it's working for them. And the best days of service are when you actually effectuate a positive change for somebody or some family in their day-to-day life.
Yeah.
That's when I go home and say, man, this was a great day.
Yeah. That's awesome. That is probably one of the best answers I've heard on that.
Well, that's. I think that's the way you should approach these, these jobs, and you've got to put. I grew up. I talk about my faith quite a bit, but I grew up, family kind of teaching me that, God's the most important thing. That needs to be your priority in life. Mm-hmm. Then it's your family, and then it's others, mm-hmm. and then it's yourself.
Yeah.
But you got to put others before yourself. There is a component of sacrifice in public service, if you do that.
Yeah.
But you should put others before yourself. And if you ask for these jobs and the people give them to you, that needs to be the priority. You need to seek to help others first.
Yeah. Vince Lombardi had a similar mindset. He talked about God, family, and then as much as he loved football and the town loved football, he said football was last.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's really interesting.
I think when you keep those priorities in that alignment, in that order, you'll find the balance for the other.
Yeah.
But the first three will drive your effectiveness.
Right.
At the last level.
Yeah.
So,
that's
important.
Yeah. What are a couple of defining moments that you've gone through life that change your trajectory in life? And
well, there's, I would say, there's probably several examples I could give you. I'm so thankful today. I mean, hindsight's always 20/20. The future we don't know. There's going to be challenges, but I truly believe that life's journey is not about the challenges that you're faced with, because we're all going to have them. It's all about how you respond to them. I think how we're defined is not by how rough our life was, how easy it was, and because it's about the certain things that you're going to have to face, and how you respond to them. And you can, I think those are the defining moments. We've talked a little bit about a bad economy.
Yeah.
We've talked about COVID. Mm-hmm. We've talked about a loss of a child. Mm-hmm. I mean, you lose a child. It can either destroy your life, or you can just believe that that you're not going to understand the why.
Yeah. But
there's still a lot to live for, and a lot to do.
Yeah.
But every day really is a defining moment. I mean, you've got the opportunity to get up and be productive and really make an impact in somebody else's life. And I think those are the things we should be kind of focused on. And I think where I've had maybe more trouble or failures in my life, I've been stagnant. I haven't been focused on producing something.
Yeah.
And where you're focused and you have purpose and mission, those things seem to be blessed and worked out. So, for me, I just feel like I've got a lot of life left. I could have left the building as the longest serving speaker in our state's history, and with character and integrity still intact, and could have said that's the end.
Yeah.
But I believe I'm not at the point. I'm not called just to be focused on my life solely. I still believe I'm called to focus on others.
Yeah.
And Once again, I'm in a business, family business, and an industry that's predicated upon you don't you don't do well at all unless you help someone else do
Right.
well first. So,
Yeah.
those are the things that I'm focused on.
That's awesome. Your phrase "every day is a defining moment." I fully agree with you. We've done over 100 episodes, and no one has ever gave that answer, and that's my favorite answer. No one's given it. So either Ashley did an amazing job vetting this, or I'd probably say that's probably more genuine, authentic, because that's how I felt it when you said it.
Yeah, we talk about failures too, and
Right.
I've had them, you know,
Yeah.
that didn't turn out the way I wanted, or
Yeah.
we just didn't quite hit the mark.
Yeah.
But getting up, the defining moment is moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
Correct what's wrong.
Yeah.
Don't get trapped in the failing moment.
Mm.
Lean in, move forward,
Yeah.
and redefine the situation.
I love it. What advice would you give yourself, your younger self, 20 years ago?
That's a great question. And I need to come up with a really good answer because I just told you hindsight's vision's 2020, right?
Right.
I think when you're young, there's this pressure on you to do well in a job, to provide for a family, to not let your parents down,
Mm-hmm.
to be a productive member of society.
Yeah.
But I think at my younger self, I think I would tell myself, hey, your parents were right about how you prioritize
Sure.
things in your life. But I would probably tell myself, if I could go back, hey, enjoy more the things that really matter.
Mm.
Enjoy your family.
Yeah.
Enjoy your kids. They grow up really quickly.
Yeah.
And we made sure that we spent a lot of time. But if I could have figured it out, if I could go back and just, I would try to figure out how to squeeze more time in for them and probably less time in for work.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think that's what if I could redo anything, I would probably try to find a way to be, have more time on a daily basis with my kids.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
good advice.
Well, you live and learn.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. What are a couple of questions you wish people would ask you, but no one ever asked Speaker McCall or Mr. McCall?
Oh, questions that I would like to be asked that no one asks.
That no one ever asked.
I wish people probably would ask, how do you feel do you care about other people? How do you feel about others? Especially in the arena of public service, it becomes about the issues, and you focus on, the nuances of the mechanics, the granular level of how things should work and what's wrong and whatnot. Very few people ask in public service, how does this, how do you feel about others and how it may impact, the individual family? Because ultimately, I think we often overlook is that it's about people.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that we do, everything in life. I mean, when I'm not in public service, when I get up, I'm just downtown, and see somebody, and there's an opportunity to fulfill a need. I think we need to keep things focused on people rather than money, rather than that gets lost sometimes. Those are the things I try to prioritize because those are the easiest things to lose and
Right.
or overlook.
Yeah.
So, nobody asked me, and nobody really asked me what I like to do. What do you like to do? If you have some free time.
So what do you like to do when you have free time?
So I love to do stuff outdoors.
Okay.
I love to, I used to be an avid water skier. Basketball was my sport. Played a little bit of football, a little bit of baseball. I wanted to play Division I basketball. I just wasn't big enough, wasn't tall enough, didn't score enough points. Loved to scuba dive, loved to hike, loved to hunt, fish.
Okay.
Any day that, and what I enjoy at home is just I love mowing.
Yeah.
Get on the tractor, mow a little bit. That's a great way to decompress.
Yeah.
From everyday stress. I love trimming the trees, clearing out brush, just trying to make the place look good.
Yeah.
I just like putting my hand to something that when you're done, it looks a little better
I like it.
than it did before you started.
I like it. Have you ever been noodling?
I have not noodled.
Okay.
There is you better have some courage to do that.
Yeah.
You better know what you're doing.
Yeah.
I've got obviously noodling. You can do it in my part of the state where I live.
Yeah.
But if you ever want to try it, come on down. We'll go do it.
I was going to say, I'm going to hold you to that because when you become the governor, I want to go noodling with the governor of the great state of Oklahoma.
Okay, we'll do it. Now, I'll give you a little forewarning. When you put your hand in the bank in that hole, if that hole goes up where there's air, that's not where you want to be.
Okay.
That's where the beavers and the snakes are. You want to be down below the water level all the time. That's where the catfish.
Got
is.
you. Don't they give you like a mesh glove?
Yeah, you can. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm going to have to do that.
you
Yeah.
should. Well,
Yeah.
that's okay on your first time.
Yeah.
That's fine.
It's going to have to be on my first time because you don't see many Asian brothers going down there noodling.
It's kind of cool when you have these little, they got small little teeth.
Yeah.
And you get those little scrapes on your arm. I mean,
Okay.
it's kind of a badge of honor.
Okay.
An Iron Man kind of thing.
All right, you talk
Tough
me into
guy.
it. I'm gonna go gloveless. If you could have coffee with 3 people and talk about anything and everything, living or passed away, who would those 3 people be?
Oh, that's great. And I don't think I could keep it to 3, but
Okay.
let's just say for advice in speaking just speaking truth into my life. 3 most important people to me. My wife, she's just a really grounded person, and I get great advice and perspective from her, no matter what might be going on. She has a real ability to redirect back focus on what's really important.
Yeah.
My father has given me great advice my entire life. He just turned 81.
Wow.
He's still in great health.
Great.
And my pastor, those are the people, you kind of want to, the day-to-day stuff, like, hey, I need to, what do you think about this? This is what I'm dealing with. This is what's going on in my personal life. 3 that I could have coffee with. I'd love to have coffee with, some of the founding fathers of our country,
Yeah.
and say, is this what you really envision?
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
yeah.
And what's great? What did you not get right?
Yeah.
And I'd like to ask them those questions that
Sure.
that we're kind of talking about today.
Yeah.
Knowing everything that you know now, would you have done anything differently? Yeah.
That's awesome. I know you've quoted President Reagan a couple times, and I've seen some of the quotes in some of your news articles. So rank your best 3 presidents.
I think the best presidents in my lifetime in my lifetime,
Mm-hmm.
I think Trump's a darn good president.
Yeah.
I really do. I know some people don't like his style, but he's the right guy for the moment.
Yeah.
He's tough, and you got to be tough. And he gets stuff done. That's what I love about him.
Yeah.
Because that's the way I'm driven. I mean, you can fight. There's a lot of people like to fight,
Yeah.
but you need to fight and win.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if you fight but don't get anything done for the people, you just had a fight.
Right.
You've got to get things accomplished. Reagan was a great president,
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion, also. And I think he was also, the timing was right.
Mm-hmm.
He was a president needed not only domestically, but on foreign policy. The fall of communism was huge. President Trump, he keeps things are safe around the globe.
Yeah.
Our borders are protected. Our economy is going to get back up on its feet, roaring again. I truly believe that. I think when I was at OU, I was asked to be part of college Republicans. And that's where I was introduced to Republican politics. Didn't know anything about it. The part of the state that I came from was, it was always referred to as Little Dixie. Not a lot of Republicans down there.
Yeah.
Through that, I got to go to George Bush Sr.'s inauguration.
Wow.
And that was special.
That is special.
Yeah. But we've had some, I think probably Lincoln is probably, if I look back before my lifetime, Lincoln was the president that I have the greatest admiration for, because things were just so bad.
Yeah.
And he kept the country together.
That's awesome.
And it cost him everything.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. You'll like this in 2016 in 17 for Halloween. I dressed up as President Trump, and my wife was the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
I'll have to send you that picture sometime.
I want to see that.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And then this past Halloween 2024, I went as President Trump again with my wig, like full on wig, and then I had the McDonald's apron, white shirt, red tie.
Nice. I'm hoping we can get President Trump to Oklahoma. It's the only state that all 77 counties elect him, do it 3 times.
Yeah.
And he's really loved here, and I'm hoping he'll get to Oklahoma for a football game or something like that.
Would that not be amazing?
It'd be great.
An OU football game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, we're in fact, we'll just that Michigan game will be the biggest one of the year.
That's
here
right.
Here in Norman. So,
Yeah.
President Trump, let's send him an invitation, see if he'll come.
You'd have a way better shot. And he's like, who's that guy again? Oh, yeah. No, I don't know who that is. But for you, yeah.
I don't know.
All day. If you're sitting here in this chair interviewing yourself, what's a question you might ask yourself?
Are you making sure that every day counts? That every day counts towards doing something to improve someone else's existence or life?
That's really good.
Yeah. That would be the accountability question I would ask.
I like that.
Yeah.
So we fielded a few questions on Twitter because we said you're coming on the show.
Okay.
And they're just, what's your favorite music and what's your favorite song?
Well, I'd like music. Now, I'm not super good with pop culture. I spend a lot of time at work and family but I like, so in terms of genres of music, I listen to a lot of Christian music, praise and worship type stuff. That's kind of the motivating, those are the things that kind of there's a lot of things that speak to me. Casting Crowns is probably my favorite album in that genre. I just think there's one particular album called Life Song, and if you listen to every song in that album, there's something about a stage of your life that album just kind of speaks to me.
Yeah.
Whether it's a good day, bad day, a day that I feel really connected to God, or one I feel detached. But I really like country music.
Me too.
And Reba McEntire's from Atoka County. Blake Shelton was a constituent of mine in House District 22. I love his stuff. God's Country is probably my favorite Blake Shelton song.
Okay.
Really like Carrie Underwood too. I like a lot of things that she stands for personally.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
So that's if we went out in my car and just pulled up the list.
Yeah.
Those would be kind of the things that would be in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does pineapple belong on pizza?
Only with Canadian bacon or ham. Yeah. I'm a pepperoni and cheese guy.
Yeah, me too.
So.
Yeah.
Or just plain cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Favorite football team, collegiately and professional?
University of Oklahoma, OU Sooners.
Okay.
And my favorite, and I'm believing in a good season this year. I like our coach. I like the staff. I like what they're trying to build that program around. And football, professional sports, football. I always grew up loving the Dallas Cowboys. Roger Staubach, Captain Comeback, and those are my two teams. But really migrate more to college sports than professional anymore.
Right.
Hey, we gotta send a shout out to the OKC Thunder.
Yeah,
What an incredible accomplishment, and what a great notoriety it brings to our state. Oklahoma really is not a flyover state anymore. We're a fly-to state, and that's really exciting to me.
Yeah,
what the future holds for this state.
I like it.
Yeah,
fly-to state.
We are a fly-to state. Yeah. Okay.
What are you most proud of?
I'm just proud. I'm proud of my family. My kids are great. They're really, and my wife, and that's really what I love to live for. Some of these other things you do out of a sense of obligation and purpose. But I'm most proud of them, and that'd be the group that you least want to ever let down. Yeah. So they're a blessing to me. I want to be a great husband and a great father to them, and that's something that you work at. It doesn't just happen. Yeah. So they're a blessing. I'm most proud of that, and they. I hope I've been a blessing to them, because they certainly have been a blessing to me. That's awesome.
How do you want to be remembered?
I would just want to be remembered as a guy who cared about other people. If I did anything positive, I hope what I strive to do is, I feel content, and that my life mattered if somebody else's life was changed for the better. I think we're called to love people. I think we're called to serve, not to be served. Yeah. And I think no matter what you do in life, I think you just have to answer one question, and it'll put you on one of two paths. The question is, are you here to serve others, or do you believe you're here for others to serve you? And based upon how you answer that question in business, public service, with your family, anything, any path you're on in your life, how you answer that question will determine the path, the outcome. Yeah. I think it boils down to that simple question.
That's a great way to end this show, sir.
Thank you for having me.
That is awesome. It's been an honor and privilege to sit across the room from you and really just
thank you.
speak to a speaker.
Hope
So,
to come
thank
back and talk with you again. This has been wonderful.
you. Yeah, victory lap,
Amen.
noodling. So there's that.
Hey, there's some other things down there we could go do that might be a little safer.
I like to live on the edge.
All right.
I'm a risk taker.
Let's do it.
Okay.